Wearing my pajama pants, and let me tell you, life is good. Okay. Oh, my bra is showing. That's not good. I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I'm not quite in the picture either. You know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. So we're gonna leave it. I don't know. I'm looking at the side screen and not you guys. I'm sorry. Does that make you sad? I could pin it, I guess. Hey everyone! I need to think of a name for you guys, but I have not done that yet, and you guys haven't done that yet either. So until then, I'm just going to say, hey everyone. I wish I had like some really cool collaborative name for all of my followers, but right now, we're coming up empty-handed, so sometimes it happens, you know? Anyways, for this week's video, I asked you guys what you wanted me to talk about, and a lot of you guys said relationships. And then I asked you what you wanted me to talk about specifically about relationships, and I got a huge outpour. So we're going to talk about relationships today. A lot of you guys wanted me to talk about jealousy and trust issues in relationships. So, that's going to be a GIF, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. I don't even know. I got the Galaxy S5. If you guys didn't see that, whew, you missed some good action. But okay, I put something in my notes, and I don't know where my notes are now. Please hold. Here they are. Found them. Okay. Alright, so jealousy and trust issues. I personally am not really jealous in relationships. I'm pretty easygoing. I don't really get jealous very often. I don't know why that is. Honestly, when I was a little bit less self-confident, I did get jealous more often, so maybe that has something to do with it. Being jealous in a relationship is completely normal because jealousy is an instinct that we feel as humans to protect ourselves from losing the ones that we love, right? So with that being said, jealousy often manifests into other things like anger and you know, comparing yourself to other people, whether it be their past relationships or just random people on the street, hopelessness, disgust, etc. I could just go on and on and on. So if you're feeling jealous in a relationship, you need to sit down and have a conversation with your partner or your partners. I'm going to be saying that probably a lot throughout the video because I think communication is the #1 tool to have a successful and a healthy relationship. But that is my first line of defense always. Sit down, have a conversation. Say, hey, you're doing this and it's making me feel really jealous, or I don't like that you're doing this, it's causing me to be jealous, etc. If you do that, most of the time the person or people will respond with, hey, I didn't know I was doing that, thanks for the heads up, whatever. If you get the random person that's like, oh, you're freaking out, blah, 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 you're crazy, we'll go into that in a little bit. Another thing you have to do is to stop comparing yourself to other people. And I say this a lot, not just in relationships, but just in general. Stop comparing yourself to other people. The moment that you stop comparing yourself to other people is the moment that you can stop hating what you're not and start loving what you are. And that rings true in relationships also. If you're walking down the street with your loved one and you notice that they look at someone who, say for example for me, is thin, because I'm not, if my automatic feeling is, oh my gosh, this person is looking at a thin person, they don't love me, etc. They're with you for a reason, period. The end. They saw something in you that they like, they enjoy, they want to be with you, they want to spend time with you, not with other people. Looking is completely natural. I think it's totally normal to look at someone that you find aesthetically pleasing. Fine, whatever. But it stops there. You have nothing to worry about because that person is with you. If you get to a point where you no longer trust the person because you have a reason not to, if it gets to that point, again, a conversation needs to be had. If your partner is doing things like sneaking around or doing certain things to cause reasonable suspicion, then I would have a conversation, because I have conversations all the time. Say, hey, you're doing this and that's not okay because you're supposed to be with me. And they'll react one of two ways. They'll say, I'm so sorry, I didn't know I was doing that, blah, blah, blah. Or they'll say, F you, and that's it. You need to walk away from that. One of the questions I got asked was how you find the strength to leave or move on from a relationship. This is something that I had a lot of difficulty with before, because I would hold on to things and just be like, no, but I love them and we had all these good times together. And I think the most important thing to do is to stop and assess the situation, not from your standpoint, because you're going to involve emotion. There is a wonderful quote, because I love quotes, that says, respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. That's true for any life situation, but especially true in relationships. If someone is no longer making you happy or no longer helping you, I don't want to say serving you because then we could get into a whole other thing, but then, or helping you grow, then you need to walk away from the situation and you need to just cut your losses at that point. It's not going to be easy, and I'm not saying that by leaving someone who you need to leave is going to be any easier. It's not, because leaving someone who you spent a good amount of time with and invested so much effort and love, emotions, it's going to be hard no matter what you do. But I think if you remind yourself that you deserve to be treated a certain way and you deserve to be happy, then I think that will help. I also give myself an allotted grieving period time for relationships. So if I'm with someone for a few years, I give myself a little bit to be like self-pity and just eating on the couch and, you know, watching sappy movies and crying and getting it all out of my system so that I can wake up and be like, okay, now I'm going to focus on making myself better and putting better relationships into my life. A question that I got asked a lot is how to heal after being cheated on. I don't know if that question meant how to heal and continue being with the person or just how to heal in general, but I will just kind of do maybe like a general thing and kind of put my input on it. When someone cheats on you, 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. It's not because you're lacking certain things or because you aren't doing certain things. It has to do with that person and their selfishness in the relationship with you. Whether or not you decide to stay in a relationship after you've been cheated on is completely up to you and your emotions. People are going to offer, you know, outside unwanted opinions, and you can just take them with a grain of salt and move on, because not everyone knows your relationship and not everyone knows your situation, so don't always listen to what outside people say, but definitely realize that it honestly probably has nothing to do with you. And you should not beat yourself up over it, and you should not feel inadequate at all. The problem is that if you've been cheated on in a relationship, then that's going to cause trust issues, and then it's going to cause jealousy issues, and that can kind of all snowball into a really unhealthy relationship that you shouldn't put yourself in. You may love this person, and that's fine, but that means that person is no longer helping you grow, and that person is no longer providing happiness for you. So don't stay in a relationship like that, because you only live one time. You want to take that time that we're here to live it the best that you possibly can. And if you're in a relationship where you're constantly asking yourself what the other person is doing and constantly questioning their actions and what they're saying to you, then that's not healthy, and you don't need to be in something like that. How do you know that someone is the right one? Or how do you know someone is the one? I personally have talked about this before on my Tumblr, but I believe that we have more than one soulmate. I don't believe that there is only one specific person put on the earth to be the only person that you're ever supposed to end up with, and if you meet them, great, and if you don't, too bad. I don't believe in that. I believe we have multiple soulmates, because there are people that are going to make you grow in certain parts of your life, and then there are other people that are going to make you grow in different areas of life. And the last thing that you guys wanted me to talk about is something I saved for the end, because I know it will trigger a lot of people. So if you are triggered by any talks of abusive relationships, then please end the video right now, because I don't want to trigger you. But I do want to talk to those of you who did want me to talk about this. I wanted to go ahead and touch on the subject. This is strictly people that I've dated. When I was 15 years old, I began dating someone, and I'm not going to name names because I don't know if they watch my videos, and I don't know if it'll get around to them, but no, wait, they're in jail. It won't get around to them, but I'm still going to leave it out just for whatever. So this person, we're going to call him Joe. That's not his name, but that's just what we're going to call him. He started out being this super nice, very doting boyfriend. He was a friend before he was a boyfriend, and we got along super well, like extremely well. And I'm a pretty, I don't want to say likable person because that's not what I'm trying to say, but I can pretty much get along with anyone. I kind of mesh well with most personalities. I don't know, that's just how I'm very personable, I think. I've just always been able to do that. The abuse started, I think, maybe 3 or 4 months into the relationship, and it was just minor jabs at my self-esteem. This is when I was recovering from my eating disorder, and I wasn't fully recovered yet. I was still binging and still purging a lot, and I hid it from mostly everyone in my life. But this person knew about it, and you know, you'd think that someone who is trying to recover from something like an eating disorder, after they've been like hospitalized for it, and you know, I don't know, I didn't think I was gonna live. So after I'd been through all of that, you would think that this person who I'm supposed to be in love with and who's supposed to be in love with me would try and support me, but it was the complete opposite. It would be little jabs like, oh, you're eating again, or why are you eating that, or you know, just little things like that. And at first it was just kind of like, it kind of just stung a little bit, but you know, I was like, why am I eating so much, and why am I doing this, and why do I think it's okay to have 2 slices of pizza, whatever it was. Then it progressed to just complete verbal assault. Things would be said like, you know, you're a disgusting whore, no one would ever want to be with you. I was still a virgin at the time, but you know, you're a disgusting whore, and no one will ever want to be with you, and you know, I feel bad for you, that's why I'm with you, and just things like that that were just really hurtful and completely unnecessary. But yeah, at that point, I think, is when I really gave up my power to that person, and I started really restricting what I ate, and binging and purging a lot more, and getting a lot more sick again, and not really having anyone to reach out to, because I couldn't say, oh, he's being mean to me. You know, that wasn't a very, I don't know, it wasn't a good enough, I didn't have a good enough way to explain it to a lot of people, because not everyone knew about my eating disorder. It was still very hush-hush. And yeah, I started thinking I was exactly what he told me, and I started thinking that I was worthless and stupid and useless, and just a lot of these. Really not me. This is not me thinking, you know, I don't think those things about myself, and I was, and it was not healthy, and I knew it wasn't healthy, but I didn't know how to stop. The physical abuse started when I told him I was going to leave him, because I was no longer happy in the relationship, and he just stopped me from leaving one day. Not by physically touching me, but by blocking the entrance to, or the exit door, to where I needed to go in order to leave him. And, you know, like saying, oh, you're never going to leave me, because I'm not going to let you leave me. And I think that was the point that really opened my eyes, and I was like, shit, I'm in trouble. Because I grew up seeing abusive relationships, and I knew that I had really gotten myself into trouble with him. So, the physical aggression progressed, and, you know, he would shove me up against walls if I said something he didn't like, or did something he didn't like, or push me on the floor, or spit in my face, or just do really hateful and degrading things, because he knew that I really didn't have any power anymore, because he had taken it all, and I allowed him to take it all. And, you know, I remember being terrified to leave, but knowing that I had to. And you know, I remember talking to someone really close to me and saying, hey, this is what's going on, you know, And eventually I got out of the situation only to get into another abusive relationship that, you know, pretty much had the same routine. I think because I grew up seeing people get abused or hearing people get abused, it kind of became normal to me. And because I grew up abused by people that were supposed to love me, I thought that being abused just meant that that person loved you more, because these people are supposedly supposed to be the ones that help you through life, but they're the ones that are actually doing the abusing. And I could do an entire video about, you know, family members abusing me, or like how to deal with family member abuse, whether it be verbal or physical. That could be videos, multiple. And I can do that if you guys want me to. I don't mind. That one is going to be a little bit more emotional for me. This one's pretty bad, but that one's going to be really hard and I'll probably cry. So just keep that in mind. I don't mind doing it, but it's going to probably be triggering because I will probably cry and lose my shit. But anyways. Leaving is not easy. Leaving an abusive relationship is never easy, but there are things you can do and that you need to do in order to get away from this person. Keep a journal of everything, physical, emotional, anything that they do, that you have a physical copy of what's been happening to you. On that same note, take pictures if there are any marks being left. Go to someone in your family or someone that's a close friend that you trust and tell them that you plan on leaving this person. I just say that because if anything were to happen to you, they know what to tell the police. They know to say, you know, they were planning on leaving this person. They're very physical and mentally abusive, etc. If you have to go to the emergency room for any reason and that person takes you, make sure that you, if you go back with the doctor by yourself, there is a patient-doctor confidentiality that has to be upheld. And if they say, oh, how's this happening? You can say, they beat me up. You don't have to lie because that person's no longer there. If that person does come in the room with you, you can always excuse yourself and go to the bathroom and tell a nurse outside that you'd like to speak to the doctor privately. That nurse can come in there and, you know, kind of tell the doctor and have that person escorted out, and then you can tell the doctor then. Make sure the preparation for leaving someone is always going to be the hardest, but just gather all the necessary documents that you need. Stupid things that may seem trivial but are not is getting an extra set of car keys made and getting an extra set of house keys made, and always keeping your car fueled, always keeping it completely full, just in case you need to get away. Things like backing it into the driveway instead of the other way, that'll help you get out faster. Make yourself a bag that it contains like your passport or any IDs you need, your birth certificates, your kids' birth certificates, anything like that that you need. And put it into a bag, like an extra set of clothes, money, etc. And keep it at that person's house that you really trust, that you've told that you plan on leaving that person. That way, when you do get away, you have all of those things that are going to be required for you to start over. If you have children with the person, it's very important to find a safe place for them. I know that as a mother, that would be my number one priority would be getting my kids safe over myself. If you do have children and they're older and you're able to talk to them and have them understand what you're saying to them, you just need to say, look, this is what's happening, and make sure that they know that you just want them safe, because their first instinct is going to be to protect you and to try to stick up for you. And that's not what needs to happen, because if you're in a relationship with someone who's abusive to you, there is a very good chance that they could abuse the children that you guys had together. So, you know, and as a mom, I would go batshit crazy if someone hurt my kids, and I'd probably end up dead because I wouldn't fucking stop. So, that's not a good position to be in. So just, you know, if you have children that are old enough to understand, say, here's the game plan, I just want you safe, so please just remain wherever we've decided the safe location is, etc. If your children are not old enough, you know, again, this goes back to planning, but you're gonna need to put them with someone that you trust, that same trust person, have them pick them up from school or something that day so that they're safe. Alright, to end on a happy note, I just want to tell you guys that I love you very much, and you guys mean so much to me. And if you're not in a healthy relationship, or you're not in a relationship where you're happy, that you have the power to change that, and you are strong, and you're so much stronger than you think that you are. So, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Please thumbs up this video and leave me any video suggestions you have for next week's video. T-shirts are available, everything, stickers, everything available down here in the bottom. Oh, I opened up a sex toy shop. So if you want to check that out, that'll be down there in the description also. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week. Bye! I love you. Mwah.